Do you still talk to Vince? What's your safe word? What's your body count? Alright, what's up you guys? So I've been putting off this video. I asked you guys for questions 10 days ago. I don't think I've done something like this. I asked you guys to send me questions on Instagram and Twitter. So literally some of the questions you guys sent are just... Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll to the bottom and work my way up. Have you ever had a tampon get stuck? Yes. I don't really know what else to say other than it was like stuck. Like the string had come off too. It was quite the mission to try and get it out. And also keep in mind, like, I was always afraid of tampons. I barely started using tampons maybe like legit like 4 years ago or like 5 years ago. I was just always scared of them. I don't know why. Also, my mom was always like saying that it was bad. So would you consider having an open relationship? Funny story. I've never been in one. Crawford and I were just talking about this today. Not of us. I was telling him about the Bad Bunny album. Basically, there's like speculations that him and his girlfriend have like an open type relationship because of like a video. But anyways, we were talking about it because I was like, that's actually really crazy. But then also being an artist, like, I kind of get it because like you're gone for so long. Like, obviously some people are like okay with that. What I said was that if I, you know, was in a situation where I was like super in love with someone and, you know, they wanted to explore an open type relationship, that I would be open to giving it a try. But then obviously if like I felt like I couldn't do it, then that would just be the end. But yeah, I don't think I would ever be the one to initiate that conversation. But again, if I was with someone and they were like, I need this, like I absolutely need this or whatever, then I would be open to exploring that. But then if it was like not it for me, I'd be like, peace out. How many boyfriends have you had? Now, if we're not counting like middle school and all that, 2 really serious long-term boyfriends. My first boyfriend out here and now Crawford. And I also was in like a literally week relationship with someone else that I don't know, I guess we were boyfriend and girlfriend, but it was like literally a week thing. That's a long story. Which male twin is your favorite? Guys, they're both my favorite. Okay, I love them both. Have you ever just pooped so hard you burped? Is that a thing? Comment down below if that's a thing. Have you ever peed in a pool? Yes. Hi. Hi, my babas. Hi. Hello. How did your first time go? First time what? I'm kidding. I'm like squirming now. My first time. Have I ever talked about this on YouTube? I don't know. Okay. Okay. My first time was. I've never. I don't even know if I've said it out loud to anyone. I must have, maybe. I don't know. But my parents haven't heard like. My parents haven't heard like the story at all. They just know that they know now how it came to be about. I wasn't taught this in school. If you haven't had sex ed or anything like that, like you can just scroll past this part. But I wasn't taught, I didn't know what like cherry popping was. Honestly, this might help some of you who, you know, probably weren't taught this in school either, this specific thing, you know, so maybe if it happens to you, you don't think you're like dying or anything. So basically, sometimes, and this doesn't happen to all women, but it happened to me, after we were done, I stood up and I was bleeding, but like a lot. I thought it was my period, but it was way different than a period. Like this was just like blood. Like it wasn't like, you girls know, but I didn't want to freak him out, but like I just told him that it must be my period. but I knew it wasn't my period because I had just ended it the week prior. And it wasn't until I was like a couple years older that I like learned that like sometimes, you know, because if it's your first time, you tear open something and you bleed. And so I wasn't taught that in school, and I just freaked out and thought the worst. But yeah, that's my first time story. I've never told that to anyone. So what's your safe word? I don't know if I've ever had a safe word. Is that something that's like required? Are you supposed to have that? I don't think, I've never been in a situation where I was like, you know, have to say a safe word. I don't know. Anyways, what's your body count? I know the number because I have it written down. I actually wanted to know this question for myself, so I wrote them all down one day. It's more than 10, but less than 30. Are you going to tour again soon? I can't answer that just yet. Do you smoke weed or vape? I do not. Have you ever heard neighbors complain about you and Crawford being too loud? No. Tell him, Loki. Do you still talk to Vince? I do not. Vince and I haven't spoken in a very, very long time, but we ended things on good terms, so there was no bad blood there. How often do you shave, and when you do, are we going full body naked, baby, or in between? I don't shave with like a razor. I used to, but now I get sugar waxed, so there's no like strips. It's just like melted sugar and stuff, you know. Worst brand deal experience. Specific one comes to mind. It happened early on to when I was starting everything, so it was a long time ago. This was like 4 years ago. I was working with a brand. They were having an event. I was contracted to appear at the event and also deliver all the content that they wanted of me at this event. They also wanted me in their clothes, so they made me drive to a location the day before, which was far, mind you. I spent hours getting ready for this event because it was like fancy. I was in like this gorgeous dress, heels, everything. So I get there and there's two lines. One is like a regular line and the other one is like for influencers who are here to work the event basically. And so I'm in this line, it's not moving, which is fine. I'm a patient person, but I'm in the line for like 45 minutes at this point, and I'm like, whoa. And I didn't even realize because I ran into someone I knew in the line and we were just talking. And so I go to the front of the line and I'm talking to one of the workers, and I'm like, hey, like, you know, is everyone in this line here to work? Because I was like, I'm under contract, I have to post to get paid basically. And they were like, yeah, everyone here is contracted or whatever. And I didn't have a manager at the time, so there was like no one that could have like, I could have called. Then they announced that they're at capacity, that we just are gonna have to wait. And so we're all just like, and at this point I'm waiting because I need the money. Like, I need the money, I want to get paid. So at the same time that these workers, mind you, they work for the brand. Like, this wasn't just like people that were working the event, like they were actually like employees of this brand. And so they were saying, sorry, we're at capacity, but then they were also sneaking in their friends as if we weren't going to realize. Like, these workers were literally like, oh yeah, literally they were like, sorry, we're completely full. And then like these people that they like clearly knew and were like friends with, they would like sneak them in. I'm like trying not to be rude, and I go up to this lady and I'm like, hey, like, you know, I just really just need to get in there, grab some photos and get out. I was like, I don't want to stay. I was like, if that's the issue, like, I was like, can I literally just go in and, you know, grab my story, grab my photo and just exit? I was like, I'll be out in 20 minutes, 15. And she was just like so rude and was like, no, sorry, like this and that. And I'm just like, I know I'm not like Kim Kardashian. It made me feel like absolute shit. It made me feel like I just like wasn't important enough. And I'm like, why did you even invite us? They finally announced like another 20 minutes later that we were not getting in. They're like, sorry, you're not getting in. Like, this is it. We're cutting it off. Like, this is it for the night. And I just remember I was so upset. One, because I had spent all that time to get ready, like took time out of my day to be there. Like also at this point I'm not getting paid, you know, for this, and I was really looking forward to that. And yeah, so yeah, the next day they emailed me saying that they were sorry because they saw my email to them basically being like, this went down last night, like what the hell. And I basically told them that I didn't want to work with them anymore, and I was like, I felt really disrespected, and I was like, I'm not moving forward with you guys anymore. And now fast forward to present day, they actually reached out recently. I was like, sorry, I will never work with you guys after the way that I was treated a couple years back. And they were like, oh my god, we're so sorry. And I was like, yeah, I was like, you know, time has passed, it's fine, but like I won't be working with you guys. So yeah, that's my worst brand experience. That's why it's so important to treat people right, because I mean, I didn't know where I was gonna be years later. Obviously, like, I'm at a completely different place, like social media wise, than I was back then, but now they don't get my, you know, my business because of how I was treated when I was a small influencer. So are there any influencers that you try to avoid at parties? Yes. Have you ever walked in on your parents? Okay. Yes, when I was young, once. But it wasn't anything crazy. Like I just barged in, which I never do. It was my fault. I just kind of like barged in one day, and they just screamed, and I knew instantly. So I didn't even look their way. Like I literally, the minute I touched the door handle, I heard like my mom scream, and I shut it. And then I was like, okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Like, but yeah. Most embarrassing dating app experience. Okay, I have one, but also this person I actually was seeing for a very long time because of a dating app. I had a sew-in at the time. I had started to cut it out that day, and then he asked me to hang out that night, and so I just kind of like, you know, glued the front part back in. Basically, in the middle of everything happening, he goes to, you know, grab my hair, which is normal. Yeah, long story short, he basically pulls off my wig. It goes flying. Oh, I remember. I was just like, I tried to play it off like it wasn't anything, but I was just like, like, but I mean, he was so sweet, and you know, he didn't make it a thing at all. Has your mental health ever gotten in the way of something you love? Yes. There was a time where I had put music off completely. This is such a long time ago, but when me and my girl group, when we lost our record deal, like I fell into like a whole summer of depression, and I just didn't want to do anything, and for a very long time I didn't do music after that. I just was not in a good place. I was very traumatized from the girl group, from the whole experience, and just everything that happened, and it made me not trust a lot of people. And it was when I first moved out to LA. So yeah, mental health is so important, because as you guys know, like, music music and performing and dancing, like, is my love. And so the fact that like I was to a point where like I didn't even want to do that. Like, how old were you when you had your first kiss? It was 7th grade. I think I was 13, because I was always like older because my birthday's in January. So I always like turned older first. So yeah, I think I was 13. Do you pee in the shower? I try to avoid it as much as I can. You know, sometimes you hop on in there and you don't realize how bad you need to go. So am I gonna just like get out of my shower soaking wet, possibly slip, hit my head to get to my toilet? Have you farted in front of Crawford. Not on purpose. Obviously, I know like the longer you're with someone, the more comfortable you get. I've never done it on purpose, but yes. The answer is yes. All right, you guys. I think that is it. Let me know if you guys would like a part 2 to this. Me answering more uncomfortable questions. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below any other videos you guys want to see. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the family. And I love ya. We're doing great. And I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.